watching Afternoon Live. Whether you are feeling anxious, irritable, or depressed, it could have a lot to do with what you're eating. So here to explain why, we welcome the author of The Prime, Dr. Kulreet Chaudhary is with us today. Dr. Kulreet, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Kara.
I think this is really interesting. So you say your dosha type ties a lot into what you're eating. So what is a dosha type?
So a dosha type is the way that the ancient medical science of Ayurveda approaches everything. And there's 3 doshas: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And these are your unique mind-body types. And according to your type, you can decide everything about yourself in terms of what you're eating, how different environmental influences can affect you.
Okay, so there's these 3 types: Vatas, Pittas, Kapha, something like that you said. They actually have better names for them, I think. The first one, Vatas, you call a road runner. What is that type?
Yes, so the Roadrunner is a great archetype that maybe a lot of us grew up watching that represents the Vata type. The Vata type tends to be small build. They tend to do everything fast, eat fast, talk fast, move fast. And they tend to naturally be very enthusiastic and creative people. But when they get out of balance, they can be prone to things like insomnia, constipation. And if they eat the wrong diet, it can lead to anxiety.
So what is the right diet for them?
The right diet is eating warm, unctuous, which means oily foods like clarified butter or ghee, and well-cooked foods. You do not want to be eating a raw food diet or drinking a bunch of cold beverages or eating a bunch of cold food if you are a Vata type. That will make your imbalance worse.
Why is that? Like, why do these cold foods do that?
That's a great question, because like increases life. It's a fundamental concept in Ayurveda. So if you're eating foods that are like your own dosha, it increases those qualities in you and throw you out of balance. So you always want to eat opposites to balance yourself.
Okay, so the Roadrunner eats a lot of butter. That's what I got out of this. I'm kind of like the Roadrunner, and I like butter, so I can do this. I can do this.
They can do butter, yes. And ghee.
Kapha, I don't know if I said that right, is your next one. We're just going to, actually, sorry, the Pittas is first. Pittas is Yosemite Sam.
Yeah, so Yosemite Sam is a great example of somebody with Pitta who's out of balance. But Pitta tend to be fiery individuals. They're usually medium build, pretty muscular, and they're very focused, very goal-oriented. So they're natural high achievers. But when they get out of balance, they can result in a lot of the conditions that end with an itis, so a lot of the inflammatory conditions like dermatitis, colitis, and they can get really angry if they're eating foods that are heating because they're naturally hot.
Okay, so what are the best foods for them?
So for Pitta, you want to aim for cool foods, so like green leafy vegetables, melons. Coconut water is fantastic for Pitta. And you want to stay away from things like chilies, onion, garlic, black pepper, because those are naturally heating.
And those are what the Roadrunner needs to be eating. So it's too bad if a Roadrunner has married Yosemite Sam. It makes your cooking life very difficult.
There's ways to accommodate. You could always, cook some of the core things and then add some of the spices a little bit later. Trust me, there's definitely ways to accommodate.
Especially when it comes to mood, you'll pretty much accommodate anything. Okay,
Absolutely.
This last one, I want to be Winnie the Pooh.
I know, we all want to be Winnie the Pooh, but Winnie the Pooh has its issues too. The last one is Kapha, and Winnie the Pooh is a great example of Kapha that I think most of us grew up watching. And Kaphas are larger structure, they're very affectionate, loyal, even-tempered, easygoing, but they also can get out of balance. And when they get out of balance, it can result in obesity and things like depression. So for Kapha, we want to keep them away from sugars, except for honey. Honey is the only sugar that actually balances Kapha. And we want to keep them away from things like a lot of dairy and meat and oils. And Kaphas are just naturally vegan. That's how they live their best life, is by eating a vegan diet.
You talk about a lot about herbs and spices. Are there certain ones that are good for any type?
Yes, my favorite one for all the doshas is Triphala. That's spelled Triphala. And it's just a combination of 3 berries. Kara, I actually grew up eating one of these berries as a pickle on my kitchen table. So a lot of these, herbs in Ayurveda, they're food-based. And this is a great herb to take, about 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams at midnight. And it helps to reset the digestive system and balance all 3 doshas. So this is my first go-to herb for most people who are coming into the world of Ayurveda.
Okay, so what if you find with your dosha, you have the body type that you described as one of these, but you have the personality of another one? What do you do then?
Yes, so you're nailing it, Kara. You just absolutely got it. And that's because most people have a combination of two doshas. And just what you described, oftentimes you can have the body type for one and the mind for the other. And so we always say first go for which one is out of balance, because let's say you're a vata mind and that is out of balance, but you're a pitta body and that's completely in balance. So you don't have to work on that. So always work on what's out of balance. That's why I really recommend get to know these doshas and then see what is actively happening in your life, because as you age, the effects can change, different seasons can have an impact. So it's better to start from a place of knowledge and then apply the knowledge to what you are experiencing right here, right now.
Oh, I love it. Great information today. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure.
And I'm sure that all of this and even more you can expect from her book right there, The Prime. We're going to have information about Dr. Kulreet and her book on our website at KATU.com. Don't go away. Afternoon Live, we'll be right back.